Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming. Now to introduce you to our first speaker, it's Andrew Moneyheffer from Adam Architecture.
Hello. Hi, everyone. Thank you for coming to this, and it's been really nice to be a part of this, and I'm honored to be speaking with you this afternoon. Thanks to the University, the Fitzgerald School of Real Estate, for inviting me. This conference is unique for me because it feels like coming home. I grew up in Goshen, a small town not too far away here, but now I live in England. I've spent nearly 17 years working in urban design in the US and the UK and around the world. Today, I will be talking to you about the housing crisis and how it affects people and the places we live, the Church of England's ambitious plan to use its land to help with housing and community needs, and a project that can be a model for creating better communities. I'm excited to be back in one of my homes and share what we are learning to help improve the places we care about so much. Adam Architecture, which I work for, is one of the largest classical architecture and traditional urbanism firms with around 175 people with offices in London and Winchester. We work worldwide on various projects, including new homes, renovations, extensions to historic buildings, commercial and academic buildings. We focus on urban and town realm and new urban design of varying sizes for large landowners such as the Duchy of Cornwall, the Church Commission, Homes England, and estates as the Blenheims, the Rothschilds, Burley, and Castle Howard, and others. Robbie Carr, one of the company's directors, will be presenting a restoration project for a listed church in Oxford tomorrow, so go to that. This presentation focuses on the large scale and how it impacts our lives. This is Nansledden. It's an urban extension to the Cornish coastal town of Newquay, led by the Duchy of Cornwall. That's His Royal Majesty King Charles initially, and now it's Prince William. They're the main landowners, and Adam supports them as the master planners and coordinating architects under Hugh Petter. This project is receiving significant attention as a model for sustainable, respectable growth and its use of affordable housing that's mixed in, and that benefits the region. So this is more detail about this project will be provided at the end of the presentation. The demand for good places to live is high, but for many people, this is an aspiration and increasingly unreachable. With Farah, a law firm, Future Places Studios, we looked at understanding the current trends and how to build responsibly and steward the land to create loved places to live. The report shows that most adults are unable to afford to buy a house, save for a deposit, or find affordable newly built homes. Since 2008 financial crisis, fewer people own homes, but they want to. We found a common desire through history with housing that we want to be a part of something lively and a protective community. Live in a place with natural beauty or in an active city or in a place that helps you stay healthy. People desire a beautiful community that is convenient to their daily needs. But where can you find houses like this today? For many, it's not a question they can afford to ask. For them, the question is, where can we buy a house, full stop? So how did we get here? In the 19th century England, people sought solutions to problems like pollution, housing issues, and feeling disconnected from nature. There have been big peaks and troughs in the housing market. However, the 2008 financial crisis, Brexit for the UK, and the COVID-19 pandemic made things even more difficult because there weren't enough homes to meet the demand in the right place with the right stuff. The government's goal for housing are good, but they're struggling to keep up. These changes have had big impact on the population, showing how serious the situation is. The sprawl of badly placed homes has caused many problems. It puts more pressure on roads, schools, lowers the quality of life for people living there, and does not consider nature. In short, we have manufactured homes rather than create a virtuous circle of for buildings to last generations. This is a crisis of strategy. I did have a lot of fun with putting this together. It's a little exaggerated, but it serves its purpose, I hope. Even for those who achieve homeownership, there are often issues with properties, including unfinished construction and poor quality. This housing crisis goes beyond supply and demand. It's also about the quality of homes, not meeting the needs of a changing society. This is a crisis of quality. And finally, it's a crisis of well-being. The COVID-19 pandemic has emphasized the significance of our homes and have on our health and well-being. It has highlighted the connections between substandard housing, race, poverty, and health, underscoring that housing is a matter of social justice and equality. In England, it said from research that 8 million people live in inadequate housing. Where we live significantly impacts our physical and mental health, levels of physical activity, social connection, and daily stress related to commuting to work and school. Our surroundings affect us in various ways, from the air we breathe to our overall sense of purpose and well-being. Justin Welby, the Archbishop of Canterbury's recent book, Reimagining Britain, lies bare this crisis. The Church of England and their commissioners further emphasized these points with the Coming Home report that called for a strategy for addressing the housing crisis from a Christian perspective and lays out a 20-year plan to provide affordable housing. They aim to use their significant land holdings, they're one of the top 5 landowners in England, and resources to make meaningful difference. The plan emphasizes the 5 S's of what housing should be. It must be sustainable, working in harmony with the local environment, safe, stable, and that means affordable, allowing us to put our roots down and sociable, feel a part of a community, and then satisfying, have delight in coming home. The church plans call for government and other actions to be addressed in the housing crisis. Adam Architecture, we serve as an advisor to the church, sitting on their framework and master planning for master planning and architecture. The Coming Home sets out the church's method for creating thriving, healthy communities by focusing on social values that benefit the community. The goal is to build communities by forming relationships and developing environmental, social, and governance framework for strategic land portfolio. The aim is to maximize societal and environmental benefit, involve the local community early in the planning process, and consider the 5 core values for good housing as defined by the Archbishop's Commission on Housing, Church, and Community. The Church Commission took on a major mapping review of the land to find that appropriate land for directives. So I look forward to the session tomorrow and compare notes with how you go about mapping, because it is a difficult task to understand. But then also to kind of translate that and find the sites that looked appropriate for the betterment of existing places. Getting the right homes in the right place with strategic planning takes a lot of time, but it also takes the right neighborhood size with neighborhood benefits. It's more than just housing, but it has halls, shops, schools, and other social items. Horton Farm, the plan on the right-hand side, offers an opportunity to create a sustainable, vibrant community outside London. This has been a testing site that we're in the early stages right now looking at. And the site's strategic location can improve connectivity in the local area and promote well-being. A landscape-led design will respect the site's surrounding and aim for quality design and ecology net gain. Horton Farm will be designed to grow over time, balance economic pressures and communities, and prepare for the future challenges. For the remaining of this presentation, there will be 2 keywords: legacy and patience. This was our guidance to the church to take a balanced approach to land management and consider a patient approach to community development. We provide examples to set the benchmark for great placemaking, and by doing so, we can only achieve better sales and increase margin, but also demonstrate the economic, social, and environmental benefits. The great placemaking can be delivered. Ultimately, the solution lies in economics, supply, and prioritizing design quality. Creating such a place requires cooperation, long-term perspective, and patient investment. Nansleddon in Cornwall demonstrates that this is achievable. Newquay is a coastal town on the north of Cornwall. It shares its identity with Poundbury, another one of a groundbreaking project the Duchy had designed and is almost complete. But more closely to the US, you might know the pioneering new urbanist towns of Seaside, Florida, and Kentlands, Maryland. Nansleddon builds upon that with great placemaking, but emphasizes sustainability as well. Just a bit about the town that it's in. Newquay has a unique character, evolving from a fishing village to a mineral port to a tourist destination, and is now known as the surf capital of England. With a population of 21,000 that rises to 120 in summer, it heavily depends on tourism. However, seasonal fluctuation causes many local businesses to close in winter, so leaving an imbalance with services. In 2003, Cornwall Council, the local authority, sought to address the issues of correcting the short-term growth patterns with a long-term strategic solution. For this purpose, it focused on the Newquay growth area, in which the land was owned, most of it by the Duchy of Cornwall. In 2004, the Duchy of Cornwall carried out a public consultation, a charrette, over 6 months, talking to the public about the design and what they were looking for. This consultation aimed to hear from the local people about what they wanted. They had 10 guiding principles that serve as the background for everything to be measured against. It must engage in a proactive public consultation, develop a long-term framework, address sustainability broadly, reflect Newquay's spirit and meet local needs, use local resources to support the economy, and meet sustainability goals. Minimize and balance environmental impact, and ensure commercial integrity, and support residents' economic well-being, and it has to be viable for them. So how does this process work? And this is kind of a unique way of doing it, and it's geared towards legacy, so something that might be considered. The Duchy partners with 3 regional house builders to develop the area. They have a common aspiration, so it's a legal agreement of how they go about the design and completion. And it's this consortium, the 3 house builders in the Duchy, that they commit to following a strategy document in exchange for guaranteed long-term land supply. The Duchy retains control and approves every aspect of the project. The master plan is signed off, the master planners sign this off, and the planning and working drawings. So therefore, the quality of the place is guaranteed. Strategic design takes generation in many hands. I represent the next generation that follows on these visionaries, and I look to respect it. And it's with that knowledge that it takes those generations, and you have to have good things in place, legal things in place, so people know, this is what we want. And you have to do it in a legal way as well to ensure quality and social values. An important thing is to understand the local area, and from a design standpoint, it's collecting a dictionary of elements. So what are the things that are important at each one of these scales, record them, and make a booklet, a dictionary of what the place should be. And this is from an aesthetic standpoint, but also it's from the resident as well, and the people that live there. Before more significant development commenced, the team established a smaller test site to gain the confidence of the local authority. This ensures that the commitments for the larger project could be fulfilled. Tregunwall Hill sets a design standard with the council, and completed in 2016, it comprises 174 homes, 6,000 square feet of commercial space, and a significant amount of affordable housing. And it remains quite popular, and even in comparison to nearby neighborhoods, it has a 20% higher value in comparison. And just some of the images from the street, really it's taking on that pattern book of identity. It's type, perimeter, frontages, apartment buildings commanding in locations, simple architecture, evocative colors based on local precedent, and Art Deco, which is common of the area. And then on to the bigger projects. So we did the test site to convince the local authority this is the quality you can expect, and they gave us additional fast tracks to allow us to go at a quicker speed because that initial project went so well. And this is just the early analysis that we're looking at. It's envisioned as, Nuki is envisioned as a holistic town with 3 districts, those circles, and each with its potential, with 3 district areas, each with its potential for character and centers. Nansleden is in the orange circle. The aim is to create a town with self-sufficient neighborhoods, avoiding urban sprawl by establishing 3 small towns, small villages within a larger town. And here's the master plan. It's 540 acres. The community would have over 4,000 homes. What we've done is we've placed the town kind of in a strategic location, and we're keeping all of the valuable open space, the stream and the valleys and the edges to make it appropriate. So we're kind of making it as dense as possible to retain the best attributes. Creating walkable neighborhoods is crucial for sustainable communities. The neighborhood should be, it is pedestrian-friendly, compact, including shops within 5 minutes walk. Each area will have its unique character and reflect in the buildings and the streets. And then we've done a number of tests. This is looking at the connections for the place using software we call Place Logic. It measures where the most activity on streets take place to ensure that we have where they meet is where the commercial should go. So we've actually placed, this site will have a high street. It'll be one of the main street in American terms, and it's where you have the commercial core. So this will be one of the first high streets, main streets in 50 years in England. We've organized our plan to ensure all residents, regardless of their location, can easily access green space. Open areas are typically within 10 minutes walk, while smaller spaces are only 2 minutes walk away. Our plan for green spaces include play areas, open grassy areas, natural, semi-natural spaces, parks, sports fields, community gardens, and orchards. We work with ecologists, so this is one of the larger open spaces to the north, and it's an area of large open space and a wildflower meadow, and it's really good for a walking path. So it's a number of acres. We even have grazing cattle on it as well. And it provides that well-being for not only the residents of Nansleden, but Nuki and the region. The Duchy of Cornwall aims to promote sustainable living in Nuki by ensuring that each house has a bird box, a bee bricks, and every household is given a fruit tree. Walled community gardens are within 5 minutes walk, along with the play areas mentioned. There's a focus on low carbon lifestyle to reach the net zero carbon by 2030. It's quite ambitious, but it's being delivered. And it's delivery of 1 local job per household, creating a walkable neighborhood with good public transport from day one. Ensure the broadband is there, higher insulation and airtightness, use local and recycled materials. The slate and the granite is within 100 miles of the site at the quarries, so that's local jobs. And then all the waste from the materials goes into the road beds as subsurface. So it's recycling and using those items. And it's built durable and flexible for the long term. And here's the aerial of it thus far. So this represents 750 houses that have been built. 4,000 is the aim. The entrance to Nansleddens creates a tranquil atmosphere on the road. That's a main collector road running through. Typically, developments would turn their back, but we've chosen to face them, slow the traffic, and make a place of it safe for everyone. There will be there's 34 shops to date, 40 more set to join soon. The High Street is the one running off the roundabout, going down the valley, and the Main Street will be where that digger is. And here's one of the urban greens, the central urban greens. This is built over an old farm quarry. It's formal in character with trees planting to define the space. There will be a small building in the center. Trees will kind of grow up around it. But really, what this also shows is there's a significant amount of affordable housing mixed in, but you can't necessarily see the difference between it because they're hidden within the areas, and they're just kind of in between, so you don't necessarily know the difference between those things. We've also prioritized better quality materials in certain locations. Not every building needs to have the highest quality, so that kind of levels off that price and making it more deliverable. This is the first commercial area, so mixed-use center. It's one of the neighborhoods. It's not the High Street, but it includes a hard and soft square and provides a visual break along a secondary route with buildings terminating it. So there's a cafe, a number of businesses, and affordable housing above those mixed-use buildings. And here's some of the streets. Some of the streets that are represented and the variety that we have, even in the street character. I mean, it's a character of England that things are tight, and that's how they live, but it's also a principle for sustainability. But there's pedestrian priority in places, and cars are generally to the back. And this is just an image of rendering of what the High Street would look like. It's really just a square Cornish market building and a shared surface for parking. There will be a church just around the corner. So kind of in summary for Nansledden, Nansledden is popular. It commands a 20% premium over new builds. 100 homes a year is the sweet spot that doesn't overwhelm the market. Investment in above standard insulation levels, airtightness, drastically reduces the cost of living for residents. The concrete and blockwork contains 93% recycled secondary aggregates. It supports local job creation, not only with the shops, but also the builders and the people mining in the quarry. And there's 34 local businesses to date, 40 on the waiting list. And Prince William's goal, his new goal, is for solving homelessness. So what he's using is Nansledden as a testing bed for that. There will be a shelter and local jobs that will go with it, and also an increase in affordable housing. And kind of in summary, in total, we're looking with the church to create these virtuous circles. And we do this by developing sustainable and healthy neighborhoods in the right place for strategic growth, focus on people by providing multiple ways to connect individuals to community facilities and shopping within walking and cycling distance, diversifying the housing market to create a gentle density, building beautiful places that future generations will appreciate, and we can assure the sustainability and attractiveness of our communities for years to come. Build sustainable homes that are adaptable and suitable for technology. Think about the needs outside the site, improve the social values of the region. Adopt a stewardship model for a long-term approach with a strong vision. Have covenants and common aspirations agreement to tie interested parties together. Ensure the creation of better, more beautiful, and better quality places through those legal agreements. Rethink the business as usual approach to social housing, streets, retail, green space, and social infrastructure. This really matters. Studied, phased approach and pattern of delivery to create value, jobs, and distinctive places. through good design and delivery, the local authority has opened up a fast track for the applications, reducing time and expenses. It's one of the largest, it is the largest of projects like this in the UK. And above all, it's about creating harmony with one another. So thank you.